Good morning, colleagues. This is the question we have at hand. In a right-angled triangle, the square of the length of one side is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides. Write a program that prompts the user to enter the lengths of three sides of a triangle and then outputs a message indicating whether the triangle is a right angle. Here what it means is that we're looking at a right angle triangle. As we all know, the question is asking or is telling us that if you take one side and square it, it will be the same as when you square the other two sides and sum them. That is a simple understanding, which means over here, if I have, for instance, if I decide that my one side is A, then the other side is B, and then the last side is C, it will mean that one of these equations will be valid. Either A square to be equal to B square plus C square. Yes, that is one which is supposed to be valid. The other one is B squared should also be equal to let's say A squared plus C squared. Yes. Then similarly, C squared will also be equal to, as usual, A squared plus B squared. Yes, exactly. Yes. So any of these equations should be valid if the right angle triangle, or if the triangle will be a right angled triangle. Any of these equations will be valid, and we are supposed to write a code that is supposed to validate one of these three equations. If that is, we should display or we should output a certain message. If that is not, we should also output another message. Now, that is it. Let's come to our code blocks. Here I am going to declare, this is our coding environment. We are going to declare variables like I did over there. We will have integer variables A, B, and C. These to represent the three sides of the triangle that we're going to talk about. And here, the first thing we do is to prompt the user, because the question says we should prompt the user to enter three sides of a triangle. So we are going to prompt the user, please enter the three sides of your triangle. Then we end line. and we should have an input message, a cin, to receive the user's input and store in the variables that we have declared earlier on. And as we all know, the variable declared here is just like a container to take the values that the user will input. So we have our cin, we take A, then again we take B, and then finally we take C. Now the user input has been taken. Now we should, one easy way to go is to use our if selection statements. We can use if selection statements. We'll do if. Now let's go back to this. We're saying that if a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared, that is this equation, then the triangle will be a right angle triangle. Again, okay, so we'll go back and do that. If, and now to use a square root, to use a square, we could just ordinarily do it on this thing by just doing a times a, which is the same as a square. We could also use a mass function, the power function. But if we are to use a power function, we have to come here and include the CMAF, which will allow us to use the power function, which is a mathematical function. So if we come and include a CMAF, then we will take this. We will come in here and do, as we know, this is the structure, power, then we are going to take a square, the first one, the power function, with the power function, the first parameter passed here will be raising to the second parameter. So here it means we have a raised to the power 2. And we are saying that if that is equal to, remember, our equality sign in C++ is twice or two equal signs. But the single equal sign, as we all know, is an assignment operator. So we take the power function. If a squared is equal to, again, b squared, which will be b to the power 2 plus c squared, which will also be what? C to the power 2. We are saying that if a squared is equal to this, then we will see out a very simple message. We will do a see out and say that the triangle is what? A right angled, a right angled triangle. Or we could just say the triangle is right angled. That will be a shorter message. Very good. So we end line. Remember to always terminate when you are ending line. If this is not, then you know, we have to display another message, and that other message we are to display should be what? The triangle is not right angled. Sorry, the triangle is right angled. The other one will be the triangle is not right angled. So we'll do an else the triangle is not right angled. The triangle is not right angled. That will be a C out. Remember, that will be an output message. Again, we end line and terminate. Here, let's go back and look at the question. We are also saying that or if this is valid, the triangle is still what? Right angled. Or if this is valid, the triangle is right angled. So when you come back here, I would want us to use a compound operator here. We have already done this we've done this to show that a square is equal to what? B square plus C square. So we could also do, remember this is the symbol to use for or in what? C++. So we are going to do or if the second statement we said what? Remember, we said if B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared. So we'll take that if the power of B to 2, B squared will be equal to, we said A squared plus B C squared, yeah, C squared. So if this is also valid, we should still print out the triangle is what? Right angled. This, we should print out this, the triangle is right angled. In the same way, if, so this one, let's bring it down for clarity. Remember, we haven't terminated and it is still going to be valid. Or if the power of, let's go back here, or if C squared is equal to what? A squared plus B squared, then the triangle is still right angled. The power, if power C squared is the same as what? A squared plus power, power B, B squared. So if any of this is valid, then the triangle is a right angled triangle. Take this. If A squared plus B squared is, if A squared is equal to B squared plus what? C squared, it is. If B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared, it is. Or if C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, it is a right angled triangle. Else we should see out it is that the triangle is not right angled. Let us try and run our program and see whether it will run. Yeah, please enter the 3 sides of what? Your triangle. Let's enter 4 for side 1, we enter 5, and we enter 3. The triangle is right angled. Let's see. We are going to do simple mathematics here. Take note. We entered 4, 5, and what? 3. Sorry. 4 squared is what? 16. 5 squared is what? 25. And 3 squared is what? 9. Yes. So let's see. This is A, this is B, this is C. So 16 is definitely not equal to 25 plus what? 9. But let's see, 25, is it equals to 16 plus 9? Yes, we get it. So it means the right, for our checks here, the triangle is what? Right angled triangle. Let us let's go and do the other one and see. Yeah, so let's run it again and enter different values. We'll enter like 6, 3, and 4. The triangle is not. Remember, 6 squared is what? 36. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. So 36 is not equal to 9 plus 16. Again, 9 is not equal to 36 plus 16. Then again, 16 is not also equal to what? 36 plus 9. And that brings us to the end of our program. Take note again, we are running through this. We started by declaring variables to represent the 3 sides of the triangle A, B, C, and these are integer variables. And then we put a prompt message to call the user to what? Bring the 3 sides of his triangle. So after that, we use a cin to receive the 3 sides and store them in the 3 containers that we had earlier on declared. And then we use our if statement to do the parallel. You could see that they are parallel. If this is equal to this, if this is equal to this, if this is equal to this. That's why we use the OR operator to put the 3 in one if statement. And then we see out the triangle is right angled, or if it is not, the triangle is not right angled. That brings us to the end of our simple show.